All right, thank you, Alex. And more than 300 people die each year due to heat-related causes. And based on last summer's numbers, people of color are 2 times more likely to die from heat stress.
Yeah, it's very serious. New York's heat emergency plan is in effect right now, and the person overseeing it, all of it, is here with us this morning. So Commissioner Zach Iscol, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be with you guys.
I mean, like we were saying, it's serious stuff.
It is.
Right? And you've got the heat plan in effect. Is there a 24-hour command center that's already up and running? Yeah,
so first off, as you said, this is one of the most serious of the weather-related emergencies that we have. Over 350 New Yorkers last year lost their lives to heat, and it doesn't have to be that way. There's a lot that we can do about heat to address it ahead of time during the event. We do have 24/7 coverage. There's a lot of work the city does, working with our interagency partners. We have our on-call team, Watch Command, Con Ed, working with all of our agencies to make sure that we're doing everything in the city we can to prepare the city for this heat. There's a lot that New Yorkers can also do to make sure that they're prepared, taking care of the most vulnerable, looking out for their neighbors. And so getting that information out to the public is incredibly important, and it's one of the reasons I'm so grateful to be here with you guys to get that information out there.
We saw communities of color are very vulnerable, more likely to face a heat-related illness and death. Are there more resources being sent out to those areas to prevent that?
Yeah, it's such an important question. So we have the Heat Vulnerability Index in New York City that is a product where we looked at sort of what are the neighborhoods that are most vulnerable to heat. Some of them are, the South Bronx, Northern Manhattan, Eastern Brooklyn, Jamaica, Queens. And the mayor has really been focused on serving a lot of underserved communities, communities that are most vulnerable. Parks Department had planted over 18,000 trees last year. They focused on areas with high heat vulnerability indexes. We do a lot of messaging, a lot of community engagement work in those communities. Another thing, last week I was out with a great program run by Small Business Services, which just shows like the interagency process. They have a program where we paint roofs. The temperature in New York City, because it's less green and we have a lot of blacktop, can be 5 degrees hotter than surrounding districts and communities. So there's a lot of things that we're doing to increase green, but also by painting the roof of a building, building temperatures can be reduced by significant energy use by 30%. We focus those in a lot of those communities as well.
I mean, that's a great idea. I know that you do have cooling centers. So you call 311, I'm assuming, to find the closest one near you. But for those folks that can't leave their homes, and let's say they're in a housing development where they don't have an air conditioner, what can they do? Yeah,
so there's a great program that's run by the federal government called HEAP. It's Home Emergency Assistance Program. It was initially set up to provide funding for folks to be able to buy heating systems for winter weather. But as climate change has evolved, last year was the hottest record globally on record. That program has now shifted where they also provide funding for folks to be able to buy air conditioning, cooling systems for their homes. Best way for people to become familiar with is just Google HEAP, H-E-A-P. Sign up for the program. Do it quickly. The federal funds do run out every year, but that is a way that folks can get air conditioning. We also are piloting a program this year to distribute thermometers to older adults, folks with disabilities and functional needs. They can monitor the temperatures in their homes, as well as we're distributing cool kits to folks that work outside, delivery workers, day laborers, that they have a way of staying cool if they're outside. So a lot of innovative things we're doing this year as well.
Yeah, it's been talked about this morning, people wondering aloud. The pools are set to open, the city pools, later this month. Is there any sense that perhaps they could open a bit earlier given the heat we're seeing coming our way?
Yeah, so unfortunately there's a lot of work that goes into opening pools. It's not as simply as just putting a hose in the pool and filling it up. You got to check the filtration systems, there's staffing, there's a lot of maintenance work that goes into it. But we have prioritized other things, getting information out to the public. Beaches are open, sprinkler systems in parks. You can go to your local firehouse and get a spray cap that you can put on the fire hydrant in order to be able to stay cool. Very important. This is actually something else that we sort of really focus on communicating. A lot of folks open up hydrants. That can lead to a decrease in water pressure, which makes it harder to fight fires. By putting the spray caps on, you can help us conserve water pressure while also enabling your neighborhood to stay cool.
Let me ask you this, though, because our tendency, when we're super hot, you just jack up the AC. And my concern will be possible brownouts, blackouts. What would be your advice to folks then, and how much we should actually turn up that air conditioning?
Thank you for asking this question. It's such an important one. You know, when we talk about our heat emergency plan, there's sort of 3 priorities. Public health, public messaging, but also protecting public infrastructure. And a big part of that is the grid. There's a lot that we do as a city, working with Con Ed, getting crews out there, monitoring electrical use. As a city, if we need to reduce demand, we can do that at city buildings, right, which is a lot of properties. But we also need to ask New Yorkers to do their part. So we encourage all New Yorkers, keep your air conditioner to low cool. Try and focus at about 78 degrees, which is safe, but also will reduce demand on the grid. Don't run major utilities like your dryer, your washer during high periods of demand, the high heat periods during the day, to try and help us make sure that we're conserving electricity and protecting the grid in order to serve all New Yorkers.
All right, Commissioner Iscol, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me on.
We'll have a lot more on this coming up throughout the day.
Stay cool this week.